Welcome to FYI. Good morning to each and every one of you. From the many places you're joining us from, we are happy that you guys are here with us this morning. It is Thursday, the 15th day of June already. We are plumb in the middle of the month, and I got 15 days to another birthday at the end of the month. And I'm so happy, folks, to be celebrating another year around the sun, as they say. Another year around the sun. Good to see Beatrice and Diane Primo and Myrtle Williams and all you other folks out there. We are very, very happy that you guys are here with us. Good to see you, Dolly. Dolly says good morning to all the tubers, the folks who join us on YouTube. We have a beautiful community of folks who join us on YouTube, just like on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and all the other places that you guys join us from in the mornings. We are happy that you folks are here with us, guys. We are happy. We got quite a ground to cover, quite a little ground to cover. Mavis Davis Wells, we see you there, Mavis, and all the other folks like Charles Humphrey joining us, and Roxanne Garraway. Rena Cummins is here as well and locked in. Good to see you, Rena. Good to see you, and I want to thank Rena so much for all her hard work in that Rumsburg, Peters Hall, Rumsburg. I hope I'm calling the constituency right. Am I calling it right? Area there, Eccles, Rumsburg, I think it is. That entire area, they worked very hard in that area. Congrats to you on all your hard work. You know, we need more folks like Rena who don't just talk the talk, but is literally boots on the ground. Good to see you, Merlin Sampson and Colleen. Yep. Rena's correcting me. Eccles, Ramsburg. Yep. Congratulations again. All of your hard work in that area. Tessa Waterman and Beatrice Selby, Ayabo, Natasha Congreves, and Patricia Wren and Cheeseman. All the other folks who are joining us this morning, guys, we are so delighted. We are happy that you folks are here with us. We got quite a ways to go, guys. Quite a ways to go this morning. But good to have you all on the live. You all know how we say. Good to have you all on the live. On the live. Good to have each and every one of you here, guys. What are you all having for breakfast this morning? Put up a cup of something with us. Why don't you? Pull up a cup of something with us. We are happy that you guys are here with us. We are delighted that you folks have joined us from the various places that you guys coming from. We are simply delighted that you guys have joined us. Pull up a cup of something with us, guys. Share the live. You know how we do it. Smash that emoji button as well. Happy to have all of you here with us. Wherever you guys are joining us from, without exception. Wherever you folks are joining us from, without exception, we are very, very happy that you guys are joining us today. Very happy that you guys are joining us today. And we're throwing things down at our end. Apologies there. Good to see you, folks. Great to see you guys. A very good morning to each and every one of you, those of you who are now joining our broadcast. Those of you now joining the broadcast, great to have all of you good folks on the live. Good to have you on the live. We got quite a ways to go, as we said. We got a number of things to cover this morning. So why don't we get right to it? Why don't we, folks? Why don't we get right to it? Some of those things that we got to cover today. As we said, good to have Winella Garnett here and Jennifer Bob. Jennifer, how are you doing? Good to see you there, Jennifer. And I see Marvin Archer's here as well. Good morning, Marvin. Juliet Stewart is here too. Beatrice, of course, and Alec Cummins here too. Esther Blue, good to see you. Good to see you, Esther, and Wendy Andrews. Good to see all of you guys from the many places you're joining us from. Riri Mingo Garraway is here. Bella Mona. Bella is here as well. And Yolanda Thomas. Good to see you, Marilyn, and all the other folks who are joining us this morning. Margaret says I'm very bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. If I get the feelings, Margaret, if I get the feelings, all I will go through the window. Celeste Webster and Hazel Austin, Patricia Fraser here with us as well, guys. We're just happy to have each and every one of you. Delighted to have all of you join us this morning. Right? Delighted to have each and every one of you join us this morning. Right? Good to have you folks here today joining us. We got quite a ways to go, as they said. Quite a ways to go. So let's not waste any time this morning. One of the first things we want to share with you guys, I hope that you guys are avid readers. People say, I don't like read. I don't know how you existed. Maybe you like read the right things. Maybe you like read the right things. But I, for one, I got to pick up back on my reading. I don't do enough of the kind of pleasurable reading that I want to do. I used to be in all the magazines, read some good novels. I got a reading list for the year. Folks are ashamed to tell you where I am on the list. Right? But I got to pick up back. I do a lot of reading for the program, a lot of notes to cover, a lot of stuff to go through to ensure that you guys have valid, credible information. But we're not doing nearly enough reading as we should be doing. And that's what one study is telling us this morning, that, people are reading the more. That's what they say. People are not reading like they used to read. And so, that's what we wanted to be our encouragement to you guys this morning. We kind of pick up on our reading a little bit more, and I guess this goes hand in hand with why we see so many newspapers around the world folding. So many newspapers around the world caving because people are no longer reading, the way they used to. Fewer people, the study says, are interested in the news. And that's a global study that's being conducted. Fewer people, they say, are interested in the news. When I go on TikTok and social media in general, I see a lot of videos telling you how to do something fast, right? Summarize something fast, how to summarize a book fast. And people, they lose that great love, the enjoyment of the thing for the thing itself. Not because you got to reach some deadline or something like that. How to summarize an article quick. So all the writing you can put in one paragraph, and there it is, right? And they're telling us here that a new global study has found a number of people taking a strong interest in the news has dropped to around a quarter in the last 6 years. So the numbers going less and less and less. And this is a report by the Oxford University Reuters Institute. Says that 48% of people around the world are very or extremely interested in the news, down from 63% in 2017. Yeah. Again, guys, it goes hand in hand with all that we are seeing, in terms of dwindling newspaper sales and even some social media sites that give the news, and have done so for a long time, no longer in existence. Right? People don't have time for that anymore. Not you folks, of course. Not you folks, of course, at all. Not y'all, Princess Diane and Barbara Ralph, Bernadette Duncan, not y'all, Karen McPherson, not y'all, the others. But I think we all can, up our appreciation for the news and information, for current affairs, for a good book. Right? And that's why Austin's bookstore there on Church Street will always be one of our favorite places. You can't go in Austin with little time on your hand, You always got something exciting down one of those aisles, drawing you in. And I love that they take some time and they curate what they bring in for the Guyanese audience. You must go down there and check out a good book, a good novel, right? Some subject area you might have a passion of. In a certain Austin's got a book to cater for you. Let's go down there. Fewer readers these days. Fewer readers. And you know what? I have found that my reading has helped the kind of person I am today. I found that. The benefits are untold. Sometimes you just want to get away from the mundane. You're tired of some people, you're tired of some things. You lose yourself in a book and you drift to some far-flung place. I think I've read some good books in my time. You know, some good books and that elevated me, improve. You know, you learn some new words and you're able to incorporate them into your vocabulary. I hope that you guys take a cue and try to improve your reading. You know, try to improve your reading. So that's one of the things we're following this morning. Look at another one of those issues that we're looking at. Boris in trouble. Boris Johnson. You know, this is Donald Trump UK style. Right? Boris Johnson was in a lot of trouble. We need to understand. Mia, are you on with us this morning? That he would have resigned from Parliament in anticipation of this report that came out about his conduct as a member of Parliament. You know, some people take this thing very serious. I find we don't take it so serious here. And with a speaker like Mansour Nadir, you know, who's a joke himself, we got a long way to go. And we would have invited you to join our news bit that we have that we call the whip, and we had Valder and Lawrence, member of Parliament, telling us of where we should be as a National Assembly. You know, and the latest news is that Boris Johnson, the ex-Prime Minister, deliberately misled members of Parliament. Right? Misled the Parliament there. Deliberately, that's one of the pullouts from that. Right? Misled the Parliament. Yeah, just want to make sure that we're getting that clearly. That's what they're saying there in the UK. Deliberately misled. These guys here, where we are, they obfuscate, they deny, they avoid. One of the privileges you have in the National Assembly is asking questions of ministers. They provide some of the most flimsiest, stupid responses, right? And all the while claiming to serve the interests of the Guyanese people. All the while claiming to be for all the Guyanese people, but they don't want to be accountable. That's the larger point. And Gail is going to come and try to convince us, oh, we love accountability, we love good governance. Over the last 2 years, there have been scandal after scandal after scandal. And that's why in one of our previous broadcasts, I was saying that we got to get to I can't even say get back, we got to get to issues-based politics. But them boys don't want to go there because how they could win? How can a minister, you think a minister in the UK parliamentary system would even dream of taking a dildo into Parliament, much more to say one of his colleagues need a dildo and still get a work? His party gate caused Boris Johnson to lose the work he had. Lying again. We've seen this in the National Assembly so many times. He tried to get information out of them on oil and gas, on the industry. Right? And they're going wrong and wrong and wrong in circles. Packer scams. Boris' life in politics coming to an end. An inglorious one too, right? An inglorious one. Man had a tremendous opportunity to do something great for the people of that country. Squander all of that. Squander all of that. Is me or is it even gone into silence like Claudette and Vishnu in the last couple of days? Right? One man doing the talking for the whole government. For the whole government. Third term again. Again, if we based our electoral system, we based our politics on an issue-based politics, you would never accept that. Even the people who vote for them would never accept that. Would never accept that. If you need to hear from nobody else, why have other ministers? Why have subject ministers? Three years in, that's what we're heading to. Not one post-cabinet briefing. They don't, and they talk about transparency, accountability, and all of that stuff. But when you put the ruler and you do the measure, come up short all the time. All the time. Right? This athlete, they're telling us, Tory, lost her life. You know, Tory Boy lost her life. Olympian, great athlete, lost her life recently due to complications, pregnancy complications. I know that it all goes back to how fragile that whole period is. And I don't think as men we have enough of an appreciation how so many things can go wrong. You know, so many things can go wrong. This young lady in the prime of her life, they said they spoke to her agent and he said that all she could talk about was having a baby, having a child. And now she's lost. She's lost her life. And when you come to a medical system like ours, my God, you come to a system like ours, you know, healthcare like they offer, we'll be there. It's touch and go all the way. Touch and go all the way. Thoughts and prayers go out to the family of Tory Boy. Extraordinary athlete, and I say all-around human being. And again, I just underscored, I saw, I think it was BT, Black Entertainment Television, saying that it underscores how women of color, you know, are at a greater disadvantage when it comes to certain issues of healthcare. Right? When it comes to certain issues of healthcare, and we begin to touch the surface, you got to get to the delivery and all these sensitivities there, and then post delivery, you know, postpartum depression and a whole host of things. Women got it rough, you know, when you really consider it. And that's why I don't understand this whole thing about gender-based violence, and especially violence against women and girls. You know, but our thoughts and prayers go out to this extraordinary, the friends and family and loved ones of this extraordinary athlete, Tory Boy. Yep, gone much too soon, much too soon. Olympian, we told you of this vessel that capsized off the Greek coast, 79 dead. Folks, wherever you're joining us from this morning, Maria and Alexis and Neri Thomas and Sheena Hazel, do not let us get numb to death. I think too often we get accustomed to the numbers. It's only 79. Right? That's when you start getting numb. Right? You start getting numb to these issues of life and death. 79 is a lot of people. Just like 20 of our young people who died in that fire should continue to outrage all of us. Outrage all of us. And weeks later, the promised CY is a distant thought. You see how the wicked, in the moment, they will tell you anything to assuage your anger, and grief. Oh, we can do this. Oh, we can do that. Oh, is a minister still assigned per child? Is that still happening? How many reports come in? Is a minister still assigned per child? How are they looking for us? Out of sight, out of mind. We lost 20 of our young people, and the president flinger behind me. And so happens 3 weeks later. That is how they operate. Don't let us ever get numb. You see, these things add up. We did a feature here in our program about road fatalities. It was last April. And we were surprised in 1 month, When we pull those figures together, it's death of every goddamn day. 2, 3 people lose their lives on our roadways. A small country like ours. Those things must continue to enrage us. Never get to that place and say, oh, it's only 79. You know, these were people much like we were and still are in lots of instances. Right? Still are in lots of instances. Right? Still are in lots of instances. Folks, we got a lot of ground to cover this morning, and I want to run through some issues because we got a lot of ground to cover at our end. 79 dead. The mayor working through to his very last day. He says mayor till the very last day. You know, when the person who is going to be elected mayor among the councillors take that oath of office, then the current mayor work finish. Right? So he's been working through. And we're told that the city has acquired 2 new garbage compactors. And that should be able to help us to dispose of some of our refuse and garbage in a more efficient manner. You know, congrats to Ubraj Narayan, working very hard on the ground there. And then we got things, local government elections that we have to cover. Right? Things, local government elections that we got to cover, folks. A couple issues we want to pluck out for you guys that are making the rounds this morning. We want to touch on a couple of those issues today. A couple of them, not plenty, a couple. And as we come out of this period and we look to the general and regional elections, we just want to touch on a couple of things making the rounds this morning that we're hearing about and that we think that you guys ought to know about. A couple of the things making the round at our end, and one of the things we see them saying is that they have requested a recount in some of the local authority areas, including Mali, for instance. I heard you all boy come out and say, oh, this thing is so big, this thing is so massive, and oh, this is what success and wipe out. The actions tell different. The actions tell so much different. You know, for what they're saying, they want to recount. Right? Y'all think we should give them any recount? Huh? Is that the way y'all think we should go? That's what we want to know. You guys think they should get any recount? Do we have time for that again? Right? We know the truth. We know the truth. But you see, the longer you are delayed here, right? You take your eyes off what's ahead. The longer you are delayed here, right? You take your eyes off what is in front of you, folks. What's in front of you? You know, I want to get some thoughts from a very special guest I have joining me this morning. Folks, I'm very privileged to have joining us live on the broadcast via telephone this morning, the leader of the opposition and the leader of the People's National Congress Reform, Mr. Aubrey Compton Norton. Mr. Norton, a very good morning and welcome. How are you doing?
Good morning, Sharon. I am fine in the circumstance. And good morning to your listening and viewing audience.
Excellent, Mr. Norton. I know you've had a very, very busy few months. The last few days must have been tremendously tiring and exhausting. But we want to get a sense from you. What are your own takeaways from local government election 2023 as we put it in the rearview mirror and focus on the next election to come?
First of all, sir, let me say thanks for the role you would have played in whatever successes we have achieved, and to all our supporters on social media and our members and supporters generally. There are a lot of things to take away from the local government elections. First of all, we did point out that they did a lot of gerrymandering. And in one of the areas that they did the gerrymandering, that is predominantly PPP supporters, which is the area of sisters, we won an extra seat. We have not done that well since before the 2015 election. So in some regard, that is again a rejection of the People's Progressive Party. And then when we go to Region 5, we won another seat in the Blaymont area, an area which we generally would not have won. What in essence happened is that the PPP and the gerrymandering extended the boundary. The traditional, but we got considerable votes in that area, and so we extend to by one seat from 2 to 3. So what we are seeing on the ground is a rejection of the People's Progressive Party, and wherever we have been able to scrutinize, we see extremely low turnouts and no real improvement on the part of the PPP, while we've seen improvement on our part. That signals us that, one, we need to do more work in PPP strongholds. 2, it signals us that we will beat the PPP in the next general elections, and so we'll focus. It also tells us that groundwork is important. We did the groundwork, and so that groundwork could have paid off. It also makes the point that improved organization, you can beat the People's Progressive Party. But it also brings to the fore the need for biometrics and a clean voters list. Since in some of the areas where you didn't actually participated, if you were able to up their numbers, and I suspect that they are up because they weren't in focus in the sense of how we did in our strongholds, etc. So going forward, we have to take a new approach to the call for a clean voters list and biometrics. So I would say we did extremely well. We were limited in terms of resources. We skillfully applied whatever resources we had to the areas we thought we needed to ensure that the PPP doesn't put their hands on. Another thing that would have come out of this election that probably we didn't focus on, in many of the areas that we have at the time, the PPP won the representation part. In many of them, we won the constituency section. What that says is that we produce better candidates than them, but we did not focus enough on bringing out the voters to ensure that we win both the constituency and the proportional representation section. So that's a lesson for us.
Yeah. One of the areas we
thankful to our.
Go ahead, Mr. Norton.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
One of the areas. Go ahead.
Well, I was saying to you, we are very thankful for our supporters. They have shown that they understand politics and they are conscious. There are some areas in which the PPP succeeded in transforming Guyana into a place with a new form of rigging, what I would call bribery, intimidation, among others. So the other lesson is to be learned here is that the People's Progressive Party will do anything to achieve their objective, including the violation of the law, as we've seen them done in terms of using their resources to bribe people.
Well, I want to circle back to that in a second. The Buxton Fowlis area is another area we took completely back from the PPP. You know, Mr. Jaglio goes through these numbers, scraping through to find a narrative, but he ain't talking about the things that you're talking about here, where we took back territory from the PPP.
Yeah. We did take back territory from the PPP. We are still continuing our analysis of Region 5, But all the indicators are that in the general elections, regional general elections, we can win Region 5, and we will do the work to that end. I do not worry with Mr. Jack Leo. The man is a pathological liar. He does not focus on facts. He focuses on his own narrative, and I don't think anybody is carried away by the things that he would have said. He has established himself as a liar. In fact, one of the things that should be noted is that the president is absent for the longest while, and Jack Leo seemed to have taken over the party. Like I said, in normal circumstances, with the rejection that the PPP would have gotten, Barry Jack Leo should be considered a failure. And what we see him doing is seeking to spin so that he could appear as if he was successful. We will continue to expose him.
Doctor of spin. Mr. Norton, you talked about the PPP willing to do anything to win. That's in the nature. What was Anil Nandalal trying to accomplish at Melanie and did that at Denham still?
Well, those are the only two reported, but there were other cases where the PPP seeks to control all the arrows. Mm-hmm. The arrows, the polling agent, all of them, so that they could be controlled. In some areas, people rebuffed them. In some areas, they got through in terms of bullying people. But like I said, one of the things we have to note about these elections is that they cannot be considered free and fair because of the tactics that were used by the People's Progressive Party. We have seen here a new form of rigging, a form of rigging in which they are using bribery, they are using coercion of people. Look, if they were not doing that, what explains that when in areas where they didn't get the kind of support they expected, like East and West Rhinewell, they immediately went in and stopped the contracts they gave to those people? What it shows you is that they are prepared to do anything. They are not now trying to send the signal that when we come the next time we give, we have to now analyze in the context of a new form of rigging. And this is important because the evidence suggests that the PPP was rejected in their strongholds. They were rejected in APNU, AFC strongholds. What that says is that they don't have the level of support to win a regional and general election. So they are likely to resort to new forms of rigging, and we have to watch that.
Yeah. And then in this election too, one of the things that I found very striking, you talk about the absence of Irfan Ali completely from the scene of recent, is the absence of voter education. I mean, we haven't had one press conference to date by the hierarchy in GCOM. A whole election has come and gone. Not one press conference from GCOM. It is bizarre. And then you had the whole incident that took place there at Christian Labour College the other evening. There's been a blackout on that. Nobody has explained to this nation what happened with that chaos and confusion with the presiding officers there. And then you have this vacillation of GCOM on whether you can take a camera and phone into the polling station. Was yes one day, no the same day. This is madness. You can go one walk, Mr. Norton. I thought that Louisville and that was the problem.
GCOM has proven to be incompetent. This is more reason why Claudette Singh should go. This is more reason why the CEO should go and the deputy CEO. Clearly, they are incompetent and they are politically partisan people. And that will not do well for the Elections Commission. They have to couple that with a struggle for the clean voters list and biometrics. That is the reality on the ground.
Yeah, yeah. And there's where I know you have a busy morning, but there's where I want to conclude our discussion, perhaps, if you don't raise any other points. You had stated from the start, walked through those electoral issues that we have currently, and said that, look, if it were up to us, we will not participate in this election based on all of these things. But we have a right, we have a responsibility to defend our strongholds. What are those live issues that we still have contention with for the purpose of our viewing public and listening public with Chicom? Those grave issues.
There are many issues. But first of all, let me say the decision to contest for me was a sound political decision, because had we not, the PPP would have dominated this entire country. And I think a debt of gratitude is owed to us, because we're keeping elements of democracy alive. But the election would have shown, one, that with a padded list, even in a low turnout, the PPP was able to do illegal things to ensure they got the majority, even though they would have lost constituencies. That's the first thing. The second thing that we have to look at, like I said, is the voters list and the biometrics. Those are critical. The other thing is we now have to develop a strategy to deal with this new form of rigging by the PPP. Well, I shouldn't say new, because they have been paying people for years. But with oil money, it has now become ridiculous and open. And so we have to come up with ways and means of dealing with the coercion on the part of the PPP. We have to deal with the buying of votes. We have to deal with the intimidating of voters. And we have to have both national and international campaigns to deal with those.
Awesome. Overall, Mr. Norton, are you satisfied with where we are in this process? As we let you go.
I would say that we have been successful in the present situation. But in politics, you have to keep going. So I don't want satisfaction to appear to be complacency. We have to go through the results, get information from all of our people, completely analyze the situation, and then work our strategy forward. I, however, believe that our strategy of focusing on the ground and doing the groundwork has paid off, and we have to intensify that.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. Norton, for stopping by and spending this time with us.
Okay, thanks a lot for having me.
Excellent. Thanks again. Folks, that was the leader of the opposition, Mr. Aubrey C. Norton, and the leader of the People's National Congress Reform as well. And there you have it. There you have it, folks. Valid, credible information. You know, you can't say we're not looking out for you guys. Valid, credible information, and we know how much that information means to you folks, you know, to put these things in the context, because when you got a man like Mr. Norton said, is a pathological liar, right? You can't trust them. You just can't. He scraped through some information. There's a fellow who sat down the other evening and said that Chase Greenham lost the constituency, but it was like a wipeout. And I told you folks, after that, I just plug out the television. You know, turn off the smartphone. Because this is madness. How are you going to lose and it's still like a wipeout? Right? But again, you're looking for a narrative. Right? You're looking for a narrative. But we know the Guyanese people are smarter than that. We know our Guyanese brothers and sisters are smarter than that. Right? So good to see you. The little one, the light one. Dennis Mitchell is here, and Ryan Haynes and Terry. Trey Morris is here too, and Van Classic. Michelle Chester is here as well, and Maureen Chichester Paul, and Marlene DeYoung, and all the other folks who have joined us this morning. Guys, we're going to get to some of the things that we're tracking. international, some of the additional information we're looking at internationally, some of the stuff we're picking up in the region, and some of the other stuff we're covering in the 592. Good to see Onika McCollin, and I see Esther Blues here, Gilali Cock, Desiree Smart, Felix is here too, Yolanda Felicia Henry has joined us, Michelle McKay, John Baines is here too, Esther Blue, Bernadette, Sheila Boyd Child, good to see you as well, and all the other folks that have joined us. Gloria Fraser, good to see you as well. Good to see you as well, Mary Hamilton. Good to see you, Mary, and Glenford Gordon. See, Marilyn Lorimer is here. Marilyn and Ann Kearns and all the other folks who've joined us. Thank you guys so much. And let's get to some of the other things we're tracking this morning. North Korea, saber rattling here. They send a fire ballistic missile into the sea. That's what South Korea is reporting. Yeah. I feel like every time, like Kim Jong-un, feel like I like out the headlines a little bit. You know, I gotta go back on some front pages. He said, "Fire on them things over there, man. fire off one of those things, man." I think that's how they operate. Fire off one of them things, man. Alicia Roberts, Linda McCalvert, yep. Fire off one of them. Folks, welcome to Airfund, man. We ain't see Airfund in a little while. This is a local government election. You don't hear from the local government election, the local government minister. He's talking all the time about dildo and this and that. He got quiet. It's historic. She come and had one press conference. You know, in this whole process. That's fascinating. Claudette gone back under the rock. Gone back under the rock. And Vishnu, oh God, we could chronicle his failures since he took the helmet she come. I thought to say he did some bright and he did deserve the work the first time. Sweet Jesus. I thought to say Vishnu know this thing inside out. And he did deserve the work since whenever. Myers at she was. Lowen feel that is worse. Wasn't this? Was not this at all. This is not this. Kim Jong-un out to the headlines. Fire off one of them things, boys. Congrats to St. Kitts and Nevis. They have assumed the chairmanship of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. Yeah. Best wishes to them on that. Best wishes to them on that. That's really easy currency there. Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. Do well. Serve well. St. Kitts and Nevis. Serve well. Oh, I'm doing a little better than Carrie. Come on this side. Oh, I'm doing a little better because them boys that we got to deal with. That's some of what's happening there, folks. St. Kitts and Nevis, of course, they all realize we're in the region. All right? We're in the region. The folks have fired a lot of shots at the consulate in Haiti, the Jamaican consulate in Haiti, said gunmen shoot up the place. So Andrew Holness, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, has ordered that the consulate services halt. Yep, things are deteriorating daily in Haiti. Right? People of faith, let us remember to pray for Haiti. Right? Like how the Bible instructs us to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Let me pray for the peace of Haiti. They shall prosper. The good book says that love thee. Right? Haiti needs a lot of prayer, folks. It's a sister CARICOM country, and you know, I'm delighted that they're having those talks in Jamaica right now. A lot of the Haitian leaders flew to Jamaica to have a big talk about how they can stem this tide of decadence and decay happening in our sister CARICOM country, Haiti. Yep. So Jamaica suspended those operations. 9 subject papers. I told you guys last night of this incident. They're telling us we got a little bit more information now. 9 subject papers. Them boys just, this is like Smalley. I mean, them boys tell me Smalley escape. But indeed, Smalley just left. We didn't even know Smalley really dead because them boys didn't want to give the family the body. The family said parts of his body appeared burnt and all of that. Right? But CXC papers supposed to be under tight lock and key. Right? You tell me somebody could just penetrate that easily, sir? Quite like Mazzaroni. Probably the same level of security. These are important examinations. Important examinations. And you just got papers lying about, just so. 9 subjects. Right? And the encouragement to our students preparing for these exams, he said, continue to prepare. CXC said they're gonna work it out. They're gonna work it out. All right? And this is local news. A teenager, he can't be named as yet, but killed his brother-in-law. Folks, Wild West. Wild West. They're telling us he's accused of fatally stabbing his brother-in-law at Queenstown, Riverton on Monday, and he has confessed to the crime. Right? Pusharam Ganpat is a 26-year-old who was stabbed. He's a laborer of Well-Rank Dam, number 57 village, stabbed to death. Police stated that the suspect and the victim were imbibing together. Right? When a heated argument ensued, resulting in a scuffle. Folks, if you like, take your drinks. But I was always scared of anything that I ingest that would make me not be in control of my faculties. Or ingest to the extent that I can be conscious of my actions. Right. Then taking the liquor when this stabbing took place. Right? Yeah. Just another one of those things, folks, in the 592 that we're dealing with. Just another one of those things. Confess. That's what the report says. And then we're dealing with this other incident. It's one country, you know. They said what started as light banter turned into a fight, and one soldier just shoot up the other one. I saw a video where a man was walking you through, well, somebody walking you through the crime scene there at that base, and you see the bullet holes on the wall and the door and so on. Shoot up his colleague. Folks, I don't know what somebody could tell me or do that you take that kind of action. But it's one country we're dealing with. And I think people get some commission from the general lawlessness in this country. Right? When you think about the PDP, you don't think law and order. You think quite the opposite. Disorder and corruption. And people can take the cue from that and do all kinds of craziness. When this administration is in government, we're getting some competition which sounds close to us. But it's somewhat we're tracking, folks. Somewhat we're tracking. And then finally, guys, before we let you guys go this morning, finally, Exxon said it's a subsidiary. It's not them, the parent company. There's not a parent company guarantee. It's a subsidiary putting up this $2 billion as required by the court until the determination of that parent guarantee insurance for the work they're doing here, you know. But it's quite strange. Again, I want to say that if we are an issues-based politics, how could PPP go forward? There are quite a few letters in today's newspapers that you're all reading according to the study, right? That are saying, how can the PPP be defending ExxonMobil more than safeguarding the rights of the citizens of this country? More than safeguarding the rights of the citizens of this country. Now that's fascinating in and of itself. You think Exxon, you think the government and Exxon are business partners? How they're fighting the courts and fighting Guyanese. Fighting Guyanese on the Exxon front. Folks, the guys are doing some repairs close to where we are, and they're going to compete with us for some. So we're going to take our leave at this point in our broadcast this morning. We're going to take our leave at this point in our broadcast this morning. But great having each and every one of you here with us. Marilyn Lorimer, Esther Blue, Bernadette, Patricia Milner, and BHS, Sukshan, Sudhari, Augustus, Andrews, Sonia Masekar. Good to have you. Horace Calder as well, and Naomi Drucker. I see the light one is here. Folks, thank you guys so much. I cannot implore on you enough, and we encourage you, quiver indulgence, to partner with us so that we can keep on moving on, folks. Help us to move forward in that way and do more of these programs. You'll see us more on the road in the days and months to come as we bring you more information of what's happening outside there. And we got some vaccines to show you with our trip to Madhya recently. You all think being out there is easy? We'll show you some of what we went through on our way to Madhya and Kokwani and Lechem and those places. We're going to show you some of that a little later on. But that being said, folks, we want to thank you guys for being a part of our program this morning. We're running 10 minutes early. We're closing 10 minutes early because as not reaching our hour program, and because we're losing the environment here to some noise. We got some folks doing some hammering and nailing on the outside of where we are at the studio here, but it's filtering inside, and I think it's going to be a distraction to us. But good to have you, Trey Morris and Edward Brooms, Lethal Preck and Jonna Joseph. Good to have you, Gwyneth Anderson and Roshana James and all the other folks who joined me this morning. Have a fantastic rest of the day. That's going to do it for us. Sip a cup of coffee for us, sip something for us, take a bite of something for us, and pick up on your reading, folks. Pick up on your reading. Elizabeth Narayan joining us from Spartanburg, South Carolina. We see you, Elizabeth. We see you there. Hope that you and the entire family are well. Lynn Finance, thanks for the thing, Lynn. Thanks for the thing. And I'm happy that you got a chance to vote as well. Lynn Finance, happy you got a chance to vote as well. I saw that picture. Thank you so much. Thanks for the thing, each and every one of you. And again, we crave your indulgence. Partner with our program. Smash that emoji button for us and share the broadcast as well. Those of you coming back to watch us, do the same. That's it for us, folks.